The Sally Ormsby Environmental Stewardship Award was established by the Fairfax County Park Authority Board in recognition of Sally B. Ormsby's many years of service as a citizen steward. This award recognizes individuals and organizations whose actions embody the spirit and values of stewardship and result in tangible environmental benefits on behalf of the public. Diane Hoffman has spent more than 30 years with the Northern Virginia Soil and Water Conservation District, beginning in 1980 with answering phones at the front desk and retiring as its executive director in 2012. During her tenure, the Soil and Water Conservation District became an increasingly invaluable protector of Fairfax County's natural resources as she helped shift its focus to stormwater management and restoration of the county's streams.
And like all streams in Fairfax County, they're being affected by changes in the watershed development. A lot of more water, volume, and velocity is being sent to the streams. That's causing great degradation, eroding stream banks. The environment in the stream and around it is becoming degraded. They're just not healthy.
Under Diane's leadership, the district has undertaken a number of stream restoration projects, including the Little Pimmet Run in McLean and the recently completed Wakefield Run project at Wakefield Park.
Each stream restoration is different because each stream is different. It's dynamic. It's not like building a specific house plan. It has to fit the stream as you find it.
Diane's main legacy is of thoughtful, strategic collaboration. Through her leadership, the Conservation District has partnered with a diverse group of stakeholders. The partnerships that Diane has fostered are much like the district's stream restoration projects, each requiring its own unique approach.
My job was to help find opportunities. A lot of times they were brought to me, usually by our staff or by one of our partners. And then you just start thinking creatively and say, who are all the stakeholders? Who are the potential partners? Why might they want to contribute funding, time, support, any kind of contribution? Some people think only in terms of money. That's not right. A partnership is everything.
In addition to her many stream restoration projects, Diane also worked to install multiple rain gardens throughout the county, including the Fred Packard Center's rain garden named in honor of Sally B. Ormsby.
Save our streams was her mantra. She would be so pleased to have a rain garden named in her honor. And the same thing with streams. She just loved streams and wanted to see us do everything we could to make them healthy. This land is our only nest, so we have to take care of it. And it's certainly to our advantage to do so. And we can't do it alone, we have to do it together. You do it by educating, demonstrating. So stewardship is critically important to sustaining life on the earth. And I think when you understand that, you have to do something.
Diane Hoffman's legacy of conservation and collaboration is strongly deserving of the Sally B. Ormsby Environmental Stewardship Award. The Aiken Philanthropy Award recognizes visionary, financial, and material contributions to the Fairfax County Park Authority. The award is named for the Aiken family, benefactors of Fairfax County Parks for 4 generations. Mike Rolban of Wetland Studies and Solutions has been awarded the 2014 Aiken Philanthropy Award for his work with the wetland restoration at Huntley Meadows Park. Since the 1980s, the central wetland at Huntley Meadows had been slowly but steadily filling with silt and debris, which reduced water depth and wildlife habitat. In order to provide long-term habitat for this community of locally rare plants and animals, the Park Authority took on its largest project yet to restore a natural area. In 2013, WSSI was awarded the contract by the Fairfax County Park Authority to plan, design, and oversee the renovation of the central wetland area of Huntley Meadows.
We were engaged to basically come up with a design that could restore this to a hemi-marsh, so basically an emergent wetland system that's dominated most of the year with water and herbaceous plants. So we had to raise the water elevation without causing a problem in terms of off-site flooding and flooding too much of the park. Trying to find a balance between raising the water, not causing too much flooding, but also figuring out a way that we can manipulate the water and raise and lower it to recreate those natural conditions that used to be here to create the habitat for the target species.
Throughout the project's life of nearly a year, Mike and WSSI contributed countless hours of pro bono time, free materials, and training to Park Authority staff, all beyond the scope or requirements of the contract. In addition, Mike also helped secure a $75,000 grant for the park to collect and analyze data on the wetlands' water levels, temperature, flows, and evaporation rate.
We have a nonprofit organization that we're involved in that funds wetlands research, and we have a large research project now that is working here. So we have a weather station and lots of groundwater wells and surface sensors. It's being run by Virginia Tech in collaboration with Old Dominion University. And in the long term, after 2 years of monitoring, that equipment will be turned over to the Park Authority, so the Park Authority staff could use that equipment for long-term stewardship in terms of monitoring the performance of the system and using that to help them make modifications.
Acre for acre, a healthy wetland supports more life than nearly any other habitat, making Huntley Meadows one of Fairfax County's most valuable parks in terms of biodiversity. Mike Rolban, too, is one of the Park Authority's most valuable friends.
The Fairfax County Park Foundation also named Transurban Fluor a recipient of the 2014 Aiken Philanthropy Award. Known locally for the construction and operation of the I-495 and 95 express lanes, Transurban and their contractor Fluor have been tremendous supporters of Park Authority programs since 2009.
Transurban's goal is really to strengthen communities through transport. We are very honored to be a part of strengthening the Fairfax County community by delivering transportation improvements. The Fairfax County Park Foundation has a similar goal. They are really every day in the activities and projects they champion. They're strengthening the community here in Fairfax County. That's why when we first began developing, designing, and then constructing the express lanes projects on 95 and 495, we knew right away that we had found an ideal partner in the Fairfax County Park Foundation.
Over the years, donations by Transurban Fluor to the Park Foundation have totaled more than $125,000. This support helps to fund a broad spectrum of agency efforts, such as the Summer Entertainment Series, the Wakefield Run Stream Restoration Project, the Adapted Aquatics Program at Audrey Moore Rec Center, and the installation of shade structures at Chessie's Big Backyard.
As a growing business here in Fairfax County, it's our best interest to support the long-term economic vitality of our community. Our park system is the gem of Fairfax County. That's why companies, multinational companies like Transurban, choose to make our home here and choose to bring our businesses here. So as a business community, let's put our money behind the Fairfax County Park Foundation and protect, preserve, and expand what is an absolute gem of Fairfax County and the reason that people want to live and work and play here.
The Park Foundation appreciates the continued support of Transurban Fluor and their contributions towards strengthening Fairfax County's award-winning park system. The Mayo Stunts Cultural Stewardship Award is named in honor of the late longtime historian, author, and chairman of the Sully Foundation. This award recognizes outstanding service through the stewardship of historic resources and dedication to parks. The Fairfax County Park Authority Board named Bob Lundegard the recipient of the 2014 Mayo Stunts Cultural Stewardship Award. For over 15 years, Mr. Lundegard has provided support to Colvin Run Mill in Great Falls, Virginia. He has been the chief chronicler of the mill's history, rescuing, digitizing, and cataloging old slides, as well as recording present history.
And we wanted to do more research on this mill and how this mill operated when it was operating up until 1934, what happened after that, and then the important restoration period. How did that restoration take place, which cost a lot of money too? And in that process, we learned and met the millwrights who did the work, and we started digging into the county records of that restoration. We found 400 or 500 photos that were taken from 1968 to 1972, tracking the details of the restoration process. Well, we said that's an important archive on this award-winning restoration. We have to get that organized in a way that future researchers can go to it and draw it out. And that was worthwhile in terms of educating ourselves on the history of the restoration, but also worthwhile in terms of leaving something permanent that other people could look at.
Mr. Lundegard has also been a strong advocate for the mill. He has played an instrumental role in obtaining capital improvement funds for new milling machinery and is lobbying hard to gain support for a Colvin Run Mill visitor center.
Well, the architects have not put pencil to paper yet, so we're dealing with visions that are abstractions. You know, I see it as a place where the mission of the Colvin Run Historic Site is delivered to the public on a regular basis, with not a requirement for a large staff. I think there has to be a lot of hands-on, self-operated displays that children can use and adults can use. But it's a place where the story of flour manufacture in early America, water power in early America and how important it was to that industry and others, and this particular mill and its history and its preservation. So that's a story. So man has always been involved in growing grain and turning it into a usable product, flour, and making good things from that flour.
Thanks to Bob's interests and efforts, the history of Colvin Run Mill will be available for future study. His dedication to the mill and his respect for its role in county history make him an ideal recipient of the 2014 Mayo Stunts Cultural Stewardship Award.
Each year we take a moment to recognize the good works of volunteers throughout the Fairfax County Park System. This year is no different than others, with a multitude of outstanding volunteers selected by their peers from various sites. Thousands of volunteers give freely of their knowledge, their energy, and passion for parks. Thank you for all you do each and every day. Let us honor the 2014 outstanding volunteers. GL Marcella Abdulwahid volunteers at South Run Rec Center, where she's been an adapted aquatics assistant for the past 6 years. She is a faithful volunteer to the special needs population of this community, and on the weekends, she supports all 6 adapted aquatics classes. Her commitment to her students is evident by her more than 1,000 hours of volunteer service. Volunteer naturalist Brian Ballack makes a tremendous difference at Riverbend Park. He is a hard-working individual whose passion for wildlife and nature can be viewed through his wildlife cameras. Those cameras have revealed opossums, coyotes, foxes, and other animals in the park. He's a charismatic ambassador for the park, constantly talking to visitors about local wildlife and their importance in the ecosystem. Sally Berman's volunteer efforts are blooming at South Run Rec Center. Her green thumb has greatly improved the rec center's curb appeal with beautiful flowers, shrubs, and bushes that customers often comment on. As head landscaper, she applies mulch, removes litter, and works on the site's entrance gardens. No matter the weather, you'll find her volunteering year-round in the gardens. She began planting flowers and bushes donated from her own garden, and now she's planting the seeds of volunteerism in others. In addition to getting her own hands dirty, she also recruits local high school students. Even though Michael Buenatempo is only 16 years old, he's already volunteered 1,000 hours at Hidden Pond Nature Center. He's recognized as a professional herpetologist with his broad knowledge of reptiles and amphibians. He has a passion for herpetology and takes exceptional care of the site's animals. Although he's still in high school, he's worked almost every Saturday in addition to weekdays and many evenings helping with campfires. A dedicated mentor to younger volunteers, Michael is an inspiration to visitors and his peers. Through his skills as a blacksmith and interpreter of times gone by, Kip Coddington brings joy and new knowledge to adults, children and campers at Frying Pan Farm Park. For the past 3 years, Mr. Coddington has worked over 475 hours in the cold and heat, demonstrating his expertise in the park's Moffat blacksmith shop. Through his time volunteering, he has seen over 20,000 people come through the shop and has shown them how to shape metal into useful tools and objects. He continues to help Frying Pan Farm Park thrive and adds an interesting dimension to our interpretive story. Arthur Deverill is the face of Providence Rec Center. Warm, friendly, and always willing to help. Through his 5 years volunteering at the front desk, he's done just about everything. He is the first contact with the customers and has a knack of making people feel comfortable and welcome. His great dedication is often recognized and always appreciated by fellow staff members and patrons. Mona Enquist Johnston's art of storytelling inspires and entertains all who visit Hidden Oaks Nature Center. As an assistant program leader, she goes above and beyond her job description by participating as a costume character. She's been Miss Spider and Princess Sparkle and the Queen of Hearts. Her storytelling enthralls both children and adults alike, and youngsters are delighted to interact with her many characters as they learn about the natural world. Her creative communication skills combined with her infectious enthusiasm has led to several successful program activities and crafts. With over 200 hours of volunteer service, Front Desk Associate Pat Fielder is a favorite at Mount Vernon Rec Center, where she's known for her hard work, commitment, and a cheerful attitude. Although she primarily volunteers at the front desk, she continuously helps out with other tasks, including assisting with class registration and the Park Authority's Healthy Strides race held in April. Her pleasant demeanor and caring personality make her very approachable for customers seeking assistance. Marisa Heesbear is an au pair from Spain, but she's chosen to spend much of her time in America as a volunteer at Spring Hill Rec Center. No matter the task, she's always magnanimously stepping up and commits 110%. Usually she can be found tackling outdoor projects such as invasive species removal and native species plantings, but she's also willing to organize fitness equipment and mentors new volunteers. Her artistic talents are also in play as she helps with face painting and decorating at Spring Hill and Lake Fairfax Park events. Her strong work ethic and natural leadership are unrivaled. Christopher Havlicek is an archaeological field and laboratory assistant with the Cultural Resource Management Protection Section. When it comes to volunteers with a truly great attitude, passion for the work, and enthusiasm for all aspects of archaeology, he fits the profile. He's willing to perform any task without complaint or hesitation. These tasks range from scanning old slide photographs to using precision equipment to map archaeological test units. His archaeological work has helped drive the master planning process for Old Colchester Park and Preserve, and his dedication and advocacy have greatly assisted cultural resources in the execution of their mission. Larry Herman is devoted to landscaping and beautifying the gardens at Colvin Run Mill. When he's not in the gardens, he's often leading tours of the mill. He played a vital role when the mill rehabilitated their small herb garden by the miller's house by personally researching historic plants and providing relevant information to staff members. His work helps this site educate and inform visitors about the mill and its history and how important the past can be in understanding the present and even the future. Over the past 7 years, Tom Kennedy has made a tremendous personal contribution of time and talent, first as a volunteer manager at Audrey Moore Rec Center, and now as market manager at the site's weekly farmers market. Tom Kennedy knows what it takes to be an outstanding volunteer. His work is driven by passion, and he's an all-around team player focused on furthering the Rec Center's mission. Steve Lindblom has been an invaluable volunteer at Huntley Meadows Park for over 6 years. He's a skilled handyman and a strong leader. He shows determination and a desire to make the park a better place. He'll work several days in a row to finish a project. He's planted hundreds of trees and saved over 60 shrubs during wetland restoration construction. He helped form the Resource Management Volunteer Group to support staff with weekend projects and fills in where needed to support the rest of the staff in the park. He is truly an asset. If you need a multitasker, just call on Wanda Lohr at Lee District Rec Center. She's a military wife and understands what it takes to get the job done. She answers phones, greets and checks in members, gives tours, takes pictures, dishes out ice cream, and organizes the desk, all while keeping a smile on her face. She recently took on the job of editing the site's newsletter, adding yet another important contribution to her list of accomplishments. Jennifer McLaughlin has served as a volunteer for 5 years, overseeing the operation of the Farmers Market at Oakmar Rec Center. She ensures that the market is safe, clean and orderly, and opens and closes on time. She also maintains the market's Facebook page on behalf of the market friends. She initiated an online schedule to ensure adequate coverage of the market, assists customers in their selections, and even carries items to their cars. She inspires a sense of family, and her can-do attitude makes customers and vendors alike feel comfortable. Nanette Mayo is incredibly generous with her time, attending most teaching days at Sully Historic Site. She's played an important role in helping execute Scout programs by conducting research, preparing materials, and teaching. As a former science teacher, she brings her teaching expertise to these programs, making certain both adults and children learn new and interesting facts about the historic site. Sasha Meyer's passion for animals, science, and nature is contagious. As a junior park naturalist at Eleanor C. Lawrence Park, she has a natural gift in communicating to both children and adults about the importance of parks. With her positive attitude and a smile, she assists in caring for the reptiles and amphibians and supports summer camps and arts in the park, combining her teaching, artistic, and scientific skills to benefit the community. A great volunteer can inspire others. Marilee Pierce is one such volunteer. As an I'm a Site leader at Churchill Road Park, she's gone above and beyond her job description. She's adopted a second park, McLean Central, and has been working on invasive plant removal there as well. She organized a service event for 6th grade students, and over the course of 4 days, 153 children removed over 60 bags of invasive plants. Due to her hard work, she not only restored many of the park's trees and natural resources, but also encouraged others to participate in active stewardship of the land. Cub Run Rec Center benefits from the volunteer service Barbara Smiley provides. Her can-do attitude is evident in her work as front desk associate, as well as marketing and public relations volunteer. For over 2 years, her hard work and dedication have made this facility a favorite with customers. She's just one of those people that is great to be around and works as a member of the Cub Run team. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the 2014 Outstanding Volunteers.
Matt Baker has contributed over 600 volunteer hours at Hidden Pond Nature Center. His role as the lead animal care volunteer, along with his work with the Pohick Rangers and summer camps, make him a popular mentor to younger volunteers and children.
So where I started is I was actually at the camps that were offered at Hidden Pond. I went to the camps, I enjoyed them a lot. I loved the hands-on activities. I loved the hands-on activities with the animals, the games we played. So when I became 12 and I was just about too old for all the camps, they asked me if I wanted to come on as a volunteer, and I said, absolutely. I began animal care with the animals up at the Nature Center, and I also began to do maintenance around the park. From that I moved on to educating kids that came to the Nature Center and kids within camps about the animals we have at the Nature Center and in the park. I've always had a passion for animals, I'd say. Like when I was little, like most boys, I liked tigers and sharks and interesting things like that. But then Hidden Pond helped to develop that into more the local animals. And then as my knowledge grew greater through just volunteering at Hidden Pond, I understood that they needed habitats to survive, and that really brought me into the whole environmental side of things.
Matt Baker also volunteers his time with Hidden Pond's Envirothon team. Envirothon is an environmental education competition for high school students. The competition tests students in 5 topic areas: wildlife, aquatics, soils, forestry, and a current environmental issue.
So Envirothon started out for me in 9th grade. I came to a few interest meetings, and then I competed with the amazing people that were already on the team. And it's overall just been a really enlightening experience for me, learning about environmental problems at here and abroad. It's also really been opening with environmental literacy and just general outreach to public and leadership. I would say volunteering at Hidden Pond has definitely helped to form my leadership abilities. Through leading kids through the woods, it helped me to realize how responsible and how much responsibility you get when you're taking care of other people's kids or just nature in general, how much responsibility and undertaking it is to come here and help to sustain and improve this park.
From his superior outdoor skills to his love for the environment, Matt Baker has proven to be an exemplary volunteer.
Since 2009, John Ellsroth has provided the right look and technical know-how to produce the annual Elly Doyle Park Service Awards. His work gives this awards program the special thematic look and feel and enables these awards to take on a special theatrical quality.
We're after what we refer to as a seamless look. We want particularly the set, the look of the front of the room to be nice and seamless. So we want our decor elements to come together. So it's a lot of nuanced setup, getting the lights focused correctly so that we don't have untoward shadows, so that the lights aren't shining on the screen. We want the control system to work seamlessly.
John's company, American Audio Video Incorporated, was founded in 1972 in Falls Church, Virginia. With 40 full-time employees and 22 part-time staff, his company has provided exceptional AV service worldwide.
American AV is an event staging company. We do meetings, conventions, and events primarily in the Mid-Atlantic, but all over the United States for various kinds of groups. Corporate groups, association groups, government groups. I came into Elly Doyle just as a guest at the dinner one night and realized that this was something I was really interested in, was the Park Authority and the work that the Park Authority does. And I saw that we could bring some value added to the event if we were to participate. And they graciously said, yeah, John, we'll see what we can do together. And from that grew a great relationship. It's because we're with people that feel the same way about the parks. They see the benefit, the advantage of this shared public space, of the trails, of the play fields, of the rec centers. And to be in the same room with people that are so dedicated to that they're willing to give a lot of their time, that is a terrifically satisfying feeling for me personally and for everyone here at American Audio Video.
John not only deeply discounts the pricing and provides in-kind support, but on the day of the event, he can be found setting up and directing his crew for more than 12 hours. Without his support, a long night of presentations would be less bearable. And regardless of what obstacles may come up at the last minute, John Ellsroth is determined to make it work time and time again.
Even after retiring from the Fairfax County Park Authority in 2009, Mona Enquist Johnston has continued to devote a considerable portion of her time to the parks and public service.
Volunteers are awesome, the wonderful wizards of parks. We know they're a whiz of a wonder, if ever a whiz there was.
Mona can be seen promoting the Park Authority's mission as a member of the Parkettes Singing Group, as well as through her creative use of decorations for the Elly Doyle Awards. Her contributions truly help make this yearly event's theme come to life. In addition to her tireless efforts for the Elly Doyle Committee, Mona is also an avid volunteer at Hidden Oaks Nature Center, where she has spent countless hours assisting staff with family and children's programming, complete with costumed performances.
Years ago, I heard about they were having these tea parties, so I offered to help. So I became Princess Sparkle because princesses were coming and they were learning about their favorite animal, and I like stargazing, so I said, oh, I like to look at the stars. That's why I sparkle. And my favorite animal was something I might hear in the spring when I'm out looking at stars, and that's the toad. So that's how it started.
Mona's fresh ideas, combined with her willingness to go above and beyond, have helped Hidden Oaks improve on interpretive offerings. In addition to the Princess Tea Parties, Mona assists with the Miss Spider Tea Party, the Little Acorns Preschool Series, as well as the Nature Center's yearly Fearless Fest.
The Fearless Fest I've been doing for several years, and then I'm a Black Widow and do a wrap to just get people thinking about Black Widow spiders, but not to be scared of them. I get just as much energy from the participants as I hope I give to the program, and it warms my heart and it makes my day, and it makes me smile.
Whether it's assisting with the annual Elly Doyle Awards decorations, singing with the Parkettes, or rapping as a Black Widow spider, Mona brings a creative energy that inspires everyone she meets.
The Fairfax County Market Masters are a special group of people who ensure each of the 11 farmers markets in the county run smoothly every week.
Generally, I get up early and come in and put out signs on Braddock Road first thing in the morning to advertise that the market is open today. And then I come back around noon when the first vendors start arriving. I set up other signs along the park entrance road, set up the Market Master tent and the information on the table within the Market Master tent, and otherwise help the vendors get set up and make sure that things are in order. When I ring the bell, the market is open and the vendors are able to sell to the public.
The typical market master contributes over 150 volunteer hours per season to ensure vendors and customers have a positive experience at their location.
I enjoy being able to work with vendors, talk to them, visit them, learn about how they grow and how they maintain their operations. I enjoy benefiting them by having them within the market to be able to sell to the residents of the surrounding areas, and I enjoy seeing the other people from the communities being able to come in and take advantage of the farmers market. Farmers markets are important in that they provide a fresh source of produce to the local residents within the communities to help promote a healthy lifestyle. They're important to the farmers and the vendors as providing a way of generating sustainable farming within the Northern Virginia and surrounding local state areas to promote the overall ecology.
Thanks to the Market Masters' hard work and dedication, Fairfax County residents are able to enjoy fresh local fruits, vegetables, and special treats. This is an amazing commitment offered by an outstanding group of volunteers.
At Lake Accotink Park, 26 horses are gleaming new thanks to the efforts of Donn Grover's time and artistic ability. In the fall of 2013, Donn started volunteering at the park, offering to help out any way possible. But when park staff learned Donn was a skilled artist and carpenter, they quickly involved him with the work of hand-painting the carousel during the off-season.
When I came here in September, I told my boss that I could paint and et cetera, because I'm a retired maintenance guy. And she says, "Oh, I have the ideal project for you." And I says, "Really?" And she says, "Can you paint a carousel?" And I says, "I've never painted a carousel before in my life, but I will give it a try."
Donn did more than try. He exceeded everyone's expectations. This was a project that required skills that are well above average because the carousel is an antique. It was built by the Allen Herschel Company between 1937 and 1945, and the horses were handcrafted a decade earlier. Originally designed to be used in a traveling carnival, the Park Authority purchased the carousel in 1978, and it has resided at Lake Accotink Park ever since.
To do the carousel, we had to remove 3 horses at a time, take them up to the workshop because it was the fall, winter months, and then reinstall them back on the carousel, which my co-workers removed them for me and put them back on for me. They're very unique. There's no two on that carousel alike. And some of them are little, I call it tricked out. And the art term in my art world, that you go there and you remember who you rode by the decorations on the horse. I think it came out good. Everybody's just saying, "Hey, you the guy who painted it? Can we get your picture and you with the carousel?" And I said, "Sure, no problem."
Donn's hard work has played a large part in ensuring Lake Accotink Park's antique carousel will provide enjoyment for another season. His skill as an artist and his positive attitude make Donn a valuable member of the Park Authority family.
Since 2012, REI has been an important supporter of the Fairfax County Park Authority's Invasive Management Area program. Employees from REI have volunteered their time removing invasive plants at Nottoway, Lake Fairfax, and Idlewood Park.
REI's mission is to inspire, educate, and outfit for a lifetime of outdoor adventure and stewardship. We're loving that we're getting our customers and our employees involved in that volunteering in a really authentic way. Invasive plants are really a problem in a lot of our parks and in our local areas. They're taking over a lot of our natural environments, and they're covering up a lot of trails and outdoor recreation spaces, the places that we like to play in. So the work that we're doing is pulling those and getting rid of those, trying to eradicate them from our parks.
REI has also contributed over $45,000 to the Park Foundation in grant money for the Park Authority's Take Back the Forest campaign and other environmental efforts. This monetary donation supports all 40 IMA sites and has been used to install boot brush stations as well as necessary tools, gloves, and first aid kits.
Year by year, the needs of the IMA really vary in getting the volunteers out, and what we supported in the past are boot brush installations, which really try to isolate the amount of invasive plants that are being spread from our parks in Fairfax County. We've also supported t-shirts for volunteers, rewarding them for all of the great work that they're doing in our parks, and also to spread the word to other volunteers and try to get the community more engaged in the awesome work that the IMA is doing. We're really proud of the impact that our grants and our volunteering has made an impact on outdoor recreation in the areas. It's a really authentic connection that's important to all of our employees. So our grants makes a big impact and significantly helps out the outdoor spaces that we like to get outside and play in.
Through volunteerism and generous giving, REI is making genuine contributions that assist in habitat restoration in our parks. REI doesn't just talk the talk, but also walks the walk and sets an example for other corporate citizens to follow. The Elly Doyle Park Service Award was established by the Fairfax County Park Authority in 1988 in recognition of former board member and chair Elly Doyle's years of outstanding service. For 25 years, Curly Anderko has been the go-to volunteer at Greendale Golf Course. He's held many volunteer positions throughout the years as a starter, marshal, gardener, and cart attendant.
I decided to volunteer at Greendale Golf Course because when I retired, I had to have something to do, and I played golf, and I like hanging around the golf course, and it gave me an outlet, and I like people, and I enjoy being around people, especially younger people, because they always have a bright outlook on life, and that was the reason I came down here to work. I enjoy the game of golf because it's a real challenge. I've played baseball, football, and basketball in high school and into the service. And I find golf will drive you to your knees and make you cry like a baby. But you get over that, you quit throwing your clubs, and you say it's a game, it's a sport, it's not life and death, and so you go on.
In Curly's early years, he served as a starter when there were no tee sheets. Then for the next 20 years, he moved into the gardener position. Curly's current job is to ensure that the power carts are gassed up and ready to go each week.
When I first started here, I was a starter. We had no computers and none of that fancy stuff. We had a pencil and a pad. You would write your name down. Then if there was a foursome, we'd send you off. If you wanted to play by yourself, well, you could do that. But if it got overcrowded, then you had to play with a foursome. Today, my responsibility is put the gas in the gas carts, put sand in the sand buckets, and some other little minor things they asked me to do, like moving carts around or moving people around or looking for things and stuff like that. Minor things.
Curly Anderko is always willing to jump in and lend a hand. His dedication, knowledge, commitment, and willingness to help customers make him greatly admired by staff and golfers alike.
Bob Dinse is a resource stewardship manager at Hidden Oaks Nature Center, where he has volunteered for 5 years, dedicating thousands of hours of service.
My wife and I had finished a course with Fairfax Master Naturalists, and we were looking for a place to start our volunteer work. We came here one night for a Suzanne Holland presentation of flying squirrels, and afterwards we were just so impressed with her. Sat down with her and Janice and discussed possibilities, and my expression to them, they said, well, what would you like to do? I said, open the door and push me outside and I'll be very happy. I'll do whatever you want. So everything just fell in place from there on.
And since that day in 2009, Bob has completely immersed himself in helping to keep trails safe at Hidden Oaks by providing a variety of assistance, including construction of 2 fair weather crossings and placement of trail liners. He promotes environmental stewardship, one project at a time.
I'll walk the trails to make sure we haven't had any blowdowns due to bad weather or just a dead tree falling, and if it needs clearing, well, I do what I can to get it cleared. Then go on with just anything that I feel needs attention. Pulling invasive weeds if I see stuff growing that doesn't belong there, thorny stuff, poison ivy in the wrong place, I pull it. Their wish list that they gave me when I started for the Old Oak Trail, putting down logs in place of lining the trail and giving the people a sense of where to stay and not to wander off the trail. And I brought my chainsaw and I just cut them up what was there for trail liners and just began a process of lining the Old Oak Trail. So it's challenging at times moving some of the bigger logs, but I got it done. Oh, wow, an acorn.
Yeah.
Can I see? Look at that.
Whoa.
Boy, that's a fancy acorn.
Bob not only finds enjoyment in weeding rain gardens, trimming plants, and replanting shrubs and ferns, but he also gets a kick out of watching kids' expressions as they explore and discover the wonders of nature at Hidden Oaks.
It's amazing how when the little kids come from the schools, they really don't know anything about taking care of parks, about what it takes. And I try to do my best. When they have too many, they ask me to help teach the stewardship part. And I try to let them know what I feel about the woods and how important it is to our whole environment. That's my biggest thrill here. I mean, I love taking care of the forest and the paths, keeping things open for people, but watching the kids, and you know, most of them bubble. And when they bubble, I bubble.
Bob Dinse is a true advocate for stewardship in our parks, who makes extraordinarily tough jobs look easy. To him, volunteer is not what one does, but what one is.
For over 10 years, Alan Figgett has donated his time, astronomical knowledge, and use of his telescope to visitors of Turner Farm Observatory Park. In the past year alone, Alan has volunteered over 100 hours to the Friday night observation program. Every clear Friday night, he and others from the Great Falls Analemma Society bring telescopes to the site to show the public the planets, stars, and other celestial objects.
Part of the fun of astronomy is going out there and seeing things, and then you just set up a telescope, show people things with a telescope, see Saturn or Mars or Jupiter or some double star or star cluster.
Not only does he donate the use of his own equipment to inspire future astronomers, Alan stays as long as needed if someone wants to be shown the stars. His passion for teaching others follows his own love of learning. Many children undoubtedly have had their first exposure to science through Alan.
And sometimes it's really cool when you get somebody who's never looked through a telescope before, particularly if you can get young kids interested in science or get them thinking of it. I mean, one thing I like to do is show double stars and multiple star systems, and you get them thinking a little bit about if you were in a planet in a star system like that, what would the calendar, what the sky would look like. I think hopefully out of this you get some young children or teenagers a little more interested in science and technology and a little more interested in what's out there in the world and what can be seen in the sky than, you know, their latest computer game.
Alan Figgett's love for astronomy and his desire to share his knowledge with Fairfax County residents is a shining example to all.